What up, what up, what up, everybody? Welcome. What up, world? Welcome to the Fanatic Sports Podcast, episode 59. Blue, 59 episodes. You've been here literally since day one and long before that, man. 59 episodes.
Probably been on 2/3 of them.
I would say, yeah, that sounds about right. About 2/3 of them sound about right. Maybe a little bit more. Listen, did you... Would if I told you that we were going to do 60-ish episodes of this podcast, what would your initial thought be?
I mean, I know we'll get down like the last podcast I was involved with. We did almost 4 seasons. So
Right. So I'm proud to say that we we don't necessarily. I wanted to do seasons. I wanted to do all of cut it up and take a break and all of that stuff. Man, the way we able to link with people has been so dope just to have that kind of reaction. So I just going, and so we've taken a couple weeks off here and there. The holidays are coming up. I'm probably gonna take some time off then too, but just whatever I can do, man. Look, I'm gonna take what I can get and go until I can't. Shout out to the Throwback King for the snack of the week right there, without doubt. So we're having a little bit of technical difficulty with my man Michael Beier from the Sports Vibes Media, who will be joining us shortly. Very excited to have him on. You got plans for the holidays, Blue?
be around my folk. That's about it.
So my mom is coming in town she's coming in, actually gonna fly in on Thanksgiving, and she'll be here. My nephew, so my sister's son, is getting baptized at our church, man. Shout out to her. And I got on the shirt today, so it won't be no cussing. Won't be no cussing, Rev. Shout out to St. Paul Baptist of Gonzales. Very loyal supporters. The men's ministry, they always, man. So first and foremost, my pastor will everybody he introduced me to will hit me with oh yeah, he got a podcast. Boom. And then have us like man, thank you. Appreciate the look. And everybody like, wow, you got, definitely shout out there. Yeah, I see you, Mike. And then, dang, you keep kicking him out. And then, so shout out to that, and then okay, he's back. All right, that's good. I can have more than 2 people, can I? And also like a lot of the fellas in the men's ministry will also definitely, they definitely be on the watch the show, man. So and they come back with a lot of opinions. So it's like I gotta stay tight because I got eyes on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely a shout out to that. That my brother's coming. All right, so you sideways. So look, I can. Are you on your phone, Mike?
Yeah.
Can you turn it sideways?
Yeah, it is sideways. Let me see. I don't know why it's not.
Do you have? Oh, if you got an iPhone, they have that screen lock. I know sometimes my screen lock cuts me off on there.
Yeah.
Well, I can see the top of your head is where it's supposed to be now, so that's good news.
Yeah, maybe if I just keep it up like that, is that better?
That's great.
All right, let's just do that.
All right, good. Michael, this is Byron, aka the Blue Report, the Throwback King.
Man.
Hey, what's up, Byron? Michael.
Man, happy to have you on with us. A pleasure to have you on. I don't know if you got a chance to see the opening video. I took not a good deal of time. I got a great template now, so but it was exciting to get to do that and put your logo up, man. So
yeah,
definitely have that. And we've been talking on Instagram for a while, so definitely a pleasure to have you here with us, man. It's exciting. One of the things that forever is amazing to me is that the internet is so small thanks to this, right? The world is this big now. And so, connecting with people, inviting people on, being on other people's shows, it's a really, really cool thing. Definitely finding my tribe, as they say on Instagram motivational channels. It's a blast. So it's very cool to get to connect with everyone and have this opportunity, man. So we're definitely excited to have you on. So we'll get right into it. One of the things that about our sports podcast is that we're called Fanatic because, of course, fanatic means, fan is short for fanatic. Fanatic is akin to, similar to crazy, or as we like to say, passionate. And so, we love the story. We love the story of your favorite team. So you pick any team, any level, any sport, doesn't matter. Basketball, baseball, hockey, cricket, you pick. Tell us your favorite team and how you became a fan of that team.
All right, so the one thing I'll do it here. Usually, because of my account, I try not to release like what teams I root for and stuff like that, just to keep it between everybody.
Very professional. Very professional.
Right. I try not to be one sided with any team or anything, but I'll let it go. So overall, out of every team out there, it's going to be the Cubs.
Okay.
Going to be the Cubs. When I was younger, Dad and Grandpa brought me to my first game, August 30th, 1998. Sammy Sosa. I was against the Reds. Yep.
That's fantastic, man. Listen, and so, we're talking about the heart of maybe one of the greatest summers in baseball. Hands down, bar none. I'm 40. So I remember that summer like the back of my hand. It was a great time. It was a great summer. Blue, there's a lot of time over there on Charlotte Circle at that point. So fun fact about Blue and I, we've been best friends for probably 10 or 15 years now, right? We grew up in the same city and didn't really fully meet each other until we moved up into Northwest Arkansas 15 or 20 years later. But grew up around the corner from each other. Literally, man. But during that 98 summer, we would just you remember
nice.
We're real sports fans, right?
All right.
But during that 98 summer, you were talking about McGuire and Sosa. It just seems like every time Sosa would hit one, McGuire would hit one, and the best part was they were in the same division.
Right.
You know who gets left out of that race? King Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
I think he hit 58 things.
Yeah, well, just 58, right?
Just 58.
He just hit 58 that summer.
That's how it is these days with Cal Raleigh hits 60 in the regular season. It's just like, I was just 60, that's incredible to do
mean
still.
Anything anymore? Are you serious? Yeah, no, we definitely but man, talk about an amazing summer as a fan of, this is a great time. Look, and I'll tell you something. I'll say it. I know it's not going to come across well, but most things I say don't. But the steroid era was a story, man. It was a movie. Just some of the things that they were going through. I know a lot of the old head, the purists in baseball will tell me that that this was a disgusting time or what have you. I just think about how I just think about how fun it was to be a part of such an amazing era when balls were flying left and right, balls, and what gets left out of that era as well is the fact that you talk about that was what in the height of the Braves with that ungodly pitching staff, Maddox and Smoltz and Glavine, and just an unreal time in baseball, man. So as a matter of fact, I was 14 in 1998, and so one of the things that really trips me is that time of year, sports as a whole was golden, and I just couldn't I didn't realize what I was living through at that moment. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, And I'll give you a perfect example, right? So we're talking about the summer of swing. That was also, I want to say that was around that same time where the pitchers were doing the chicks dig the long ball thing.
Yeah, that was Glavin and Maddox commercial.
That was awesome. Look, man, even in wrestling, pro wrestling, I love literally, if you can compete in it, I love it, even if I'm not good at it. So watching pro wrestling, that was the summers. Those were the time where Austin and The Rock were going at head to head. And again, I don't think I fully understood what I was watching, but I look back at it 30 years later almost, and it's like, man, this was gold. This was gold. There was. I mean, like this is as good as the sport is going to get. And for right or wrong, better or worse, whatever it was, this was special in ways that may not ever be duplicated again. And so, I mean, they obliterated. Who was it? It was Maris's home run record, right?
Yeah.
And they obliterated Maris's home run record. That's a fun time, man. So to get to go to your favorite team's field for the first time in a legendary field, my God, that's I've never been a Cubs fan, but one thing I can tell you is that I respect the game, and the Cubs are very, very special. So now, were you born and raised in Chicago?
I was born and raised in Northwest Indiana, right outside the city, about an hour out. Yep. Live in Chicago now.
Gotcha. Very good. How do you enjoy Chicago?
Man, if you get around sitting in traffic every day, then it's not a bad spot.
Yeah. Man, I've been meaning to make my way up to Chicago. I went when I was like 16. I got family in Gary, if you're familiar with that part of the world, Gary, Indiana. And so, which I think is like, if I remember correctly, it's like, I remember taking a bridge to get across and get to Chicago.
Yeah, you take the Skyway over to Gary.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
And so I went, saw some family. We had a family reunion up there, had a blast. It was cold. That's the one thing I remember. So born and raised in Little Rock, like I said, right around the corner from my buddy. And I lived a good portion of my life in Northwest Arkansas, the home of the Razorbacks, University of Arkansas.
Yep.
That area.
Okay.
And so, yes, sir. And so it's cold. We get our summer times. We get our 100-degree weather. Now I live in Baton Rouge where it feels like it's 100 degrees every day. And so I remember asking my mom, I said, "Hey, Mom, what do I need to pack?" And she says, "We'll just pack like it's regular summer." Lies. we got up there and it was 80 degrees all weekend. I mean, balmy, nice weather.
Yeah.
But we're hanging out around the Navy Pier most of that weekend, and that wind crawled up my shorts off of the Lake Michigan, and we must have looked like fools. We were walking in Target and I mean, it's July or August or something like that, right? The middle of school's out.
Yeah.
And I'm walking in Target with my sister, and we asked the worker, "Hey, where are the jackets?" But man, I've been meaning. My brother actually lived in Chicago for like 3-4 years, and so been meaning to get back up there. And he talked about his time going to visit Wrigley Field as well. And I mean, just a special place, just in general, man. Like if you call yourself a sports fan, I think you have to make your way to some. That's got to be on your bucket list of like great fields or stadiums that you want to spend some time at and just catch a game at, man. I think Wrigley Field is on there. Have you had the chance to kind of hop around to any other like stadiums or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to make my way around right now. I'm at 14, I think is the last count.
That's good.
So 14 total. Obviously have more than half to go, but yeah, there's some that I haven't checked off yet. The couple like always heard good atmospheres about Fenway, new Yankee Stadium. I have to get out to Dodger Stadium still, but next summer, we're going to try to check off Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City since that's going to be coming to an end soon. So I want to get out there. Just try to do what every baseball fan wants to do is to get all to 30 stadiums. It's hard, but it's doable.
It's one of those things where, so now do you count it if you go to the game or if you're just going to visit?
I always count it as a game, or I guess if you go inside of it, you take a tour or something. At least you could say you went inside of it. But yeah,
I think a game. Obviously, games are the best. But I think so. I went to Kaufman Stadium, and we just went in the gift shop, and we, like I said, we kind of toured the spot, and we went right after the World Series in 2015 when we won. And so, man, just the electricity in the city, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So let's transition just a little bit. I wanted to pitch an idea to you. So I believe it was yesterday was the 32nd time or I think it was either yesterday or Sunday was the 32nd time in history that we have had all 4 major sports have a ball game at the same time. Literally the coolest thing that I've ever witnessed. And in general, October is one of my favorite months because of that. Like literally, we're in the thick of all of the sports, right? Even basketball's getting off to a good start, and how about a great week that they've had to start? Hockey is starting. It's ramping up. They're in their first or second week somewhere in there. Obviously, the World Series, which we'll start there here in just a bit. Last night's game was unreal.
Oh gosh, yeah,
unreal.
Needed extra caffeine today to make up for watching that thing last night. Jesus.
18 innings, I believe it was, and of all people, of course, Freddie Freeman is Mr. Locked In.
Freddie set an MLB record last night. First player in MLB history to hit 2 walk-offs in the World Series. How about that? Insane.
He's got, he's building the type of resume that, it's up there with, Ken Griffey Jr., I believe, has the highest votes, percentage of votes to make it into the Hall of Fame at 97%. Or I think it was, it was like 90, is it 99.7 or was it 97%? Something like that.
It was really high out there, yeah.
I know it was like 3. I remember the number was 3, and so I can't remember if it was the 0.3% or 3%. But either way, it's Ken Griffey Jr. It's the greatest of all time, and Freddie's walking that down easily. Like especially when you add in, he's got 2 rings, and he's looking at a third maybe if they can figure out what to do with this Toronto lineup. Give me an assessment. We're 2 games in. Give me an assessment of what you've seen out of Toronto and out of the Dodgers so far in this World Series.
I got you, Joe. I'll answer that. But in about, let's see, how old's Shohei right now? Let's see, maybe about
30-ish?
Yeah, so what, about 15 years or so, he's going to be about 100% voted into the Hall?
He's got to be, man. This is he was made in a lab, so...
On time, 9 base got on 9 times last night. 9 for 9. That is, and I know what about 4 of them were via intentional walk, but man, that
absolutely unreal.
That is unreal. But right now, it's all the Dodgers, man. It's in their court. They have Shohei going tonight. Speaking of the devil, and I am so curious to see how tonight's going to go. Like, obviously, Shohei and Bieber are on normal rest. They're going tonight, respectively, for each of their teams.
Right.
I am curious to see what happens. Like, what happens if Shane Bieber gives up 4 or 5 runs in the first couple innings? Toronto with that tax bullpen yesterday. Same thing with Shohei. What about if he's off tonight, which he never is? But I'm just curious. Like, what are these managers going to do? How's the offense going to look tonight? Those guys, they probably didn't get to sleep. The game ended at 11:50 Pacific time,
right?
2:50 in the morning Eastern time. Obviously, they're still on Pacific time out there in LA. How are those players going to be today? I don't think it'll be a big issue because it's the World Series. It's not hard to get to that level, find that adrenaline.
Right, yeah.
But it's going to be some stuff to look out for because what happened last night was wild.
Yeah. 18. First of all, 18 innings. Just talking about that, I've never even fathomed the idea of. They play 2 baseball games. That's a doubleheader.
Yeah.
Literally. And so you get to sleep at. The game ends at 3. You probably need to grab a bite, and then you go to sleep. You wake up you got to be back at the field at probably 11. I would imagine.
Right.
Probably just. Well,
Yeah.
wait. Yeah. So now, how is it? How does it go there? Is it 2 games in? 2 games like in the NBA finals? It's 2-2.
Nah, baseball's still, old fashioned. So they go, 2-3-2.
Oh,
Yeah. So you got, obviously we have game 4 tonight, and
right.
then game 5 tomorrow. Off day,
Okay.
off day on Halloween, and then back at it Saturday, Sunday in Toronto. 6 and 7 if necessary.
Yeah, which I feel like it's going to be necessary. I'm not.
Sorry, Friday. I'm sorry. Because they played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, I misspoke.
Right.
Thursday's off day, Friday, Saturday. Because Saturday would be game 7, obviously, if necessary. So,
Holy moly.
yeah. And I don't know, man. I don't know. Toronto, I know they took a lot of their position players out the extra innings yesterday. I mean, it was clockwork for the Dodgers pitchers, especially. I don't know how much you watch of that game, but Klein finished out the rest of that game for the Dodgers last night. That dude hadn't made an appearance in a long time, and he looked rough last time. And yesterday, he looked like Shohei or Yamamoto, like mowing those Toronto hitters down. Like they barely even threatened later in the game. So I don't know if LA comes out and gets tonight,
it could be a wrap, huh?
might be donezo, man. Because I know the Cubs did it in 16 when they came back on Cleveland down 3-1.
Right.
And I know we're not to 3-1 yet, but say it gets there, I don't know if the Dodgers can be beaten 3 times in a row this year.
Their lineup is just too good, I think, man. So I was thinking about game 1. That Toronto still in game 1 was kind of special. Just it reminded me of the Pacers still in game 1 in the NBA finals. And
right.
I mean that's gotta be like, not that Toronto shouldn't be there. They're a really good team that was, and they fought tooth and nail with Seattle to get to the World Series.
Yeah.
But to sneak out, I mean, and it wasn't just a win. It wasn't just it wasn't a walk off. They pummeled. They pummeled in game 1. I mean, 11 runs.
11 runs, yeah.
It looked like the Dodgers might be overmatched.
I know. And then all of a sudden, here's LA up 2-1 with control on the series. And gosh, I just try to okay, so it's like last night. Obviously, the game gets over at 11:50 here in Chicago. It's 10-2. So it's like I'm trying to sit there and watch this. Like I have to work today, and I'm falling asleep on the couch. Like I'm trying to digest this game. So I actually kind of went through the full, like a 30-minute version of it this morning just to kind of rewatch it all.
Yeah.
And there are so many things that both teams did wrong to try to lose that game, and nobody could just take advantage of it until obviously Freddie hit that homer in the 18th inning. But man, like if LA would have lost last night, they would have been kicking themselves because they had so many chances. Toronto, same thing. What's his name? Nathan Lucas had bases loaded in what inning was that? The 12th or something when he chased ball 4. When he chased ball 4 from Kershaw coming into the game. Like that dude was tracking Kershaw that whole at bat. Like watching those pitches, like he was tracking them perfect. And then Clayton came with that 3-2 kind of little curve that he threw that he got Davis Schneider to roll over on at second base. And if he lays off that, Toronto probably wins right there because they would have walked in a run.
Yeah, walking it off. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Will Smith hit that ball in the 13th, I think it was, that everybody and their grandma thought left the ballpark, and that thing stayed in somehow. Like that was crazy ball last night. I've never seen anything like that.
Just amazing, man. And what I think the biggest thing, like I said, you have to question, what mistakes did you make as a player, as a manager, as a staff as a whole. I think and what kind of interests me the most with it being game 3, such a pivotal game in the series, right?
Right.
Where do I say, as a manager, can I afford to take this L? Because we're going to spend our whole staff, and then we got to go right back to it again. We don't want people exhausted going into game 4.
I know Dave Roberts. He was this close, or not Dave. Toronto was this close from starting Shane Bieber or bringing him in last night. If that thing would have went on, that's why I was trying to stay up because at one point I heard Roberts say, we might go with a position player throwing it. I'm like, when have you ever seen a position player throw in the
In
World
the
Series?
World Series.
Yeah, and then it's the top of the 18th inning. You see Yamamoto, he's up, so he might have came in, and then Toronto had Shane Bieber in the bullpen, kind of loosening it up. So had that thing gone beyond 18, it would have got kooky, man. Like,
There's no telling what happens next at that point, man. It's
right.
and I mean, you got to think, even still, what tax has it put on their staff the rest of the series, anyways, right?
Yeah.
But and it's Schneider, John Schneider is the manager.
Yeah.
And so I mean, just amazing. I mean,
he walks Shohei every time in extra innings because he's like, I'm not letting him beat me.
yeah, of all the people that's going to beat me, it's not going to be. And
not going to be Shohei.
That's what's so amazing is you could walk Shohei, but I mean, there's still Mookie in the two slot. There's Freddie. Freddie's batting what? I think he
third.
He's third, and then
third last night. Will Smith is hitting 4.
Gee whiz, dude! Just the up and down that lineup, it's unreal. It's almost unfair, and I can be honest with you. Now I'm glad I don't see them, but we have the same thing with the Yankees in the AL. Is just there's no real when they're on, there's no pitching around, right? And right in the middle of it is the big man Judge, and I think I can't remember if Stanton's at 5 or if he's at 3. I think they kind of switch it around every now and then, but just to have those two monsters, monster bats in front of you.
Right. I mean, they were throwing Judge at 3 and then mostly Bellinger right after him at 4 and then Stanton when he was healthy in the playoffs. So, I mean, that,
unreal.
and then obviously Stanton's always next level in the playoffs. Usually it didn't have as great of a postseason this year, but man, yeah, that's a little bit of a row to go through right there. That's what, going back to the Dodgers, that's why they're so tough. I mean, these guys, even though they're, Mookie didn't have like a normal Mookie season. Right. Freddie's numbers were, a little bit down due to injury and stuff that he was out a little bit this year. But the difference between them is when they're in the playoffs, those guys, they are ready to like shine, especially Freddie Freeman. Yeah, I was surprised at Mookie last night. He had a couple opportunities to win the game in extra innings last night. And I'm like, there's definitely, he's taking a step back a little bit because, old Mookie Betts would have ended that thing. I think he had a shot it was like 14th or 15th inning, but yeah. So that's
the fact that we're talking about the 15th inning is wild, man.
It's wild. It's crazy when you get to sing the 7th inning stretch 2 times at a game.
They did do that after the 14th inning, didn't they?
They do it at the 16th inning because that'd be, you go 9 and then the next 7 would be the middle of the 16th. Yeah.
Golly, dude.
Yeah, I've only been at one game ever. It was a Cubs game where it went really far. We got to sing the 7th inning stretch again. The only thing that stinks though is those games late. I don't know the latest game you've ever been to, but the stadium, like they start closing things. So there's like, you're not really you can't get like drinks anymore. So there might be a little bit of food going around, but
not much. Yeah, it's leftovers at that point. I mean,
right. I mean, those places have closed shop. Like
the stadiums I've been to, they start wrapping up about the 8th.
Oh, the 8th inning.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Imagine thinking you're gonna go get another beer at this point. I mean, and
I don't know if you were watching, but both dugouts, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays dugout, I don't know how late you were watching, but they were starting to bring them like platters of food. Like some of the personnel, they were bringing up platters to the players, and they had like watermelon and pineapple out there. And
I mean, it's not even something that I even think about. You know what I mean? As far as having those,
they got to eat. Those guys are starving. I mean, they showed a close-up. Vlad Jr., he was munching on an apple at one point, like in the 16th inning. I'm like, man, dude's got to eat. Like, they got to find some kind of power when they're up there. Like,
oh, my God.
I wonder what Freddie snacked on to hit that homer in the 18th inning.
Probably. Maybe he hit the smelling salt like Aaron Rodgers does.
I don't know.
That's got to be it, man, at some point. Well, thank you again for joining us. And for those who are joining us, this is Michael Beier from Sports Vibe Media.
Yeah.
Very, very excited to have you here, man. So, again, talking about October and being such a great month for sports. Any thoughts on the NBA so far? Week 1 has been it's been full of ups and downs. Anything that piqued your interest?
Yeah, the Spurs, man. Wemby looks. Oh my gosh, dude. Like that, it's not fair.
This is
Uh, who? That possession the other night. Ah, man, who was it that San Antonio was playing? But Wemby had 2 or 3 blocks on it. Then he
oh that
gathered the ball. He dribbles up, takes about a 35-foot 3-pointer and splashes it. Like what?
this is Wimby, watching the highlights of Wimby and some of the games I've seen from him so far this season. He just reminds me of Wilt Chamberlain.
Ugh.
The highlights of Chamberlain he just towers over everyone. There was the scariest play I think I saw from him, believe it or not, was that dream shake. I think this was game 1 against Derek Lively. First of all, we should just start with, or no, I think that was Anthony Davis. It was either Lively or Davis, who were both 6'10", by the way. Very tall individuals that look like children.
Yeah, right.
Look like children trying to guard him. And he gives the smoothest the smoothest dream shake, shoulder, turns and just drains it off the middle of the square. And again, like you said, if he did this at 6'9", it would be unstoppable and unreal, right?
Yeah.
7'5", and there was one play where he comes down and he just crosses between the legs, tween, cross, and then he just steps up and fires one over Derek Lively, and like, dude, what do we do with this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what do we do here? How do you defend that? You just hope he misses. I mean, I had a chance to watch him up live last year against Milwaukee. Him and Giannis going at each other. That was fun. I mean, yeah. Wemby's so good for the game. Yeah. Also, what I love about guys like him is how they're so relatable and they actually kind of give back a little bit and they make things fun. I was in New York City last December and San Antonio was in town. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go to that game, or it was either they're playing New York or they're playing Brooklyn, somebody out there. Yeah. And he had a chess match going on at the park and he tweeted out and put it on all his handles and stuff like that. Like, I'm going to be at Washington Square Park, I think is where it was. Like, come on down, play some chess. Like, yeah, like how cool is that? Like, I love that, man. Like,
it's great to see, someone who is special and, out of our normal atmosphere of people who is willing to, I hate to make him sound like he's some sort of God. But if you've seen him play basketball, you understand my acknowledgement of him. But like to hang with regular people, he spent his summer working. We saw a lot of people spending the summer working out, but he definitely spent his summer doing, really clearly devoting himself to being better, not only as a player but as a human being.
Yeah,
and it was really cool to see that the way he shaved his head with the monks and this guy is something special.
Can you imagine all the matchups that we have for the next how many years? I mean, with Cooper on Dallas, SGA on Oklahoma City, like Wemby, like the West, man, that is insane, man.
I'm a Clippers fan. I'm not super excited about it. I have no clue what we're gonna do, but when you look at that team is. I mean, I'm looking at the Spurs right now. They've got 2 Rookie of the Years, back-to-back Rookie of the Years, and I'd be willing to wager that we could see the same thing out of Dylan Harper this year.
Out of Rutgers,
and that's he's been special so far. Just some of his game his polish is showing, and of course playing with the Spurs, a great organization, and you've got some really great players around you. It's kind of hard not to shine. So I'm really interested to see. I don't know. I wouldn't put money on him being Rookie of the Year, but I could very well see that just the way he's playing and the team he's playing with, it would make sense.
Obviously we saw what he can do when he was on at Rutgers in college, like Dylan Harper, special talent. If he grows into anything, like, man, to go along with Castle and
don't forget they'll bring Fox in when he gets healthy as well.
Right.
So we're talking about a very good team in San Antonio. We could see them, get back to their dynasty ways with as much talent as they have.
Yeah.
And like I said, the West is going to be scary for a while. Denver's going to still be really good. They're back off. They're off to a hot start as well.
Right.
The Nuggets. And so I was a little shocked at them getting rid of Michael Porter Jr. But I was, I mean, it was a necessary cause. What they got back in return was impressive. But I think probably the most impressive team in the West right now is the Warriors. Believe it or not,
I know.
That's a team where, again, as a Clippers fan, I'll forever hold over, Doc Rivers' head that we wasted two really good opportunities to go win a ring. One in the bubble, and then the following year. I know injuries hit us in 21, but the Warriors are a team that's, I mean, they're unreal, to be completely honest with you. Some of the things that they do and their ability to shoot. What was it? I think Steph hits a 35-foot three to tie the game and send it into overtime.
Yeah, like clockwork.
I mean, it looked like a free throw.
I know.
I watched the highlight a few times. It looked like a free throw, and that's, I think, the part that threw me is just like, man, how unreal he is as a shooter, and his ability to just let it fly from anywhere.
That's the best part about sports is when you see a true athlete in their element and they make what they do look effortless. Like, a quarterback throwing that perfect pass, that sniper from outside in the NBA hitting that free throw or that 3-pointer like it's a layup. Somebody like Shohei with a simple swing and the ball goes 470 feet. Like, it's unreal, man. Like, it's so cool to watch these guys when, they're getting to do their thing. Like, it's amazing.
It's the beauty of sports is when you find, and I think that might be a life lesson for any of the kiddies that see this later is that, we've all got a thing that we're good at. Some of us are only good at talking about it. Some of us are good at doing it. But when you find your purpose and your passion in life, it's great because it doesn't even feel like work.
Right.
And like I said, speaking of Shohei is a perfect example. There's not even a need for that extra effort. I mean, his swing is sweet as syrup and smooth as syrup, and I mean it looks like it could just be a double the way how much little effort he puts into it. But I mean, he mashes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, right. Like the difference between somebody like, let's just go with Shohei and let's go with Vlad Jr. So like Shohei, just that smooth stroke through the zone, like doesn't look like he's putting a whole lot behind it and that ball carries. Vlad comes up there, it looks like he's taking his last swing on earth. Like that, like he is up there to make it count. Like, and it works for him. Like there are guys that can't come up there and just unleash hell like that and be as great a hitter as Vladdy is. Like Vladdy puts everything he has into every swing, and it's either a rocket over the fence or it's a rocket up the middle or to left field. Like it's insane. He hit one in the NLCS or the ALCS against Seattle. It was late in the game. And I'm watching it, and it looked like it was going to be a simple line drive over JB Crawford's head. Sure. And the thing carried all the way out to left field to Randy, and he almost came in too far. He had to jump up and catch it. But I'm like, that thing was on a rope. It was on a line. It looked like it was going to be a little base hit over like Crawford's head, and that thing carried all the way out to Arizona, man. And it's like, how? Like
it's just amazing to think about because you don't. I mean, the game, in which this was the reason why I realized this. Now, for me, I'll admit, in baseball, that whole eye on the ball thing was a struggle for me, anyways.
Yeah.
But one of the things, I'm a perfectionist to a fault, and so that's kind of one of my biggest downfalls. I want too badly for it to go. I'm very rigid, is what my therapist told me, and so but that. I think about that a lot. One of the things in baseball, we just got to talk about Greg Maddux. Greg Maddux, I don't know that he ever touched 93 with his fastball, right? But he could put that anywhere he wanted it to go, and depending on where you needed to put the ball, where he needed you to put the ball, he would do it. without question. And that's the thing that frustrates me the most about baseball is that you could a well placed 88-mile-an-hour fastball is just as, if not more dangerous than 105 miles an hour.
Right. Right. Like, you got all these flamethrowers these days, and if they get a little rattled or upset, they try to throw harder and they throw more, erratically, like they miss their spot. I feel like Greg Maddux back in the day, instead of trying to throw harder, he'd throw slower and make you even more mad. Like Pate the outside corner with 88, like you said, or coming back with that devastating changeup that he had. And my gosh.
Yeah.
And then everybody that pitches today, everybody's upper 90s. It's insane. Like you're getting guys like throwing last night that barely ever throw, like Henrique out of the Dodgers bullpen, hitting over 100. Klein, who finished off the game for them, like touching upper 90s with every pitch. Like Toronto with their guys. Lauer's probably one of the only ones. He's like one of the only ones that wasn't really throwing gas last night, but he gave Toronto, 4 good innings or whatever, the extra innings. But it just seems like everybody these days they're like touching damn near 100 or over. It's insane.
And you miss that's the beauty of that game of baseball is that you literally can, you can take, it's 5 tools and you only need 2. If you got 2, you master those 2 tools, you can play for 15 years and you can make $140 million.
Yeah,
with
right.
two of the 5. And look, we think about some of the Hall of Famers like Ozzie Smith, the Wizard.
The Wizard.
He wasn't known for his hitting. Obviously he could get on base, but he wasn't known for his hitting. He was just a really great defender. In that 4.5 hole, he was a vacuum out there, and he did it with some showmanship. And we know this guy's name as one of the greatest to ever play shortstop. And by that same token,
his 5th tool was doing backflips out there. That's where he got his 5th tool at.
Right, but and that's the beauty of this game. And look, you can in baseball, you can get in, master your one thing. Like I just said, I was terrible with that whole eye on the ball thing. I didn't realize I had the opportunity to throw because I played too many video games growing up, and I thought I needed to hit 100. But 85-mile-an-hour fastball and a 74-mile-an-hour curveball, and I'm in there.
Right. Locate.
I'm sure there was more to it than that, but
yeah.
But in that vein, man, it's a forgiving game and it's an unforgiving game all in one go. And so that's the beauty of baseball for sure, man, without a doubt. Is there anything in football that's piquing your interest right now? We're going into week 9, I believe it is.
The Indianapolis Colts at 7-1. A lot of the haters, they're all going to say, well, look who they've played. Like they haven't played, many good teams, but it's not their fault. That's what they're granted with the schedule. And what do you do if you play weak opponents? You beat the living crap out of them. They've done that with everybody except Arizona. And honestly, one of the only reasons I feel that they didn't crush Arizona is because, Jacoby Brissett comes back to town. He was a former Colt. And those guys, they play with a chip on their shoulder, like I used to play for this organization. I got to step up today, like show them what they're missing, even though, not a lot of people miss Jacoby Brissett. But no, the Colts, man, looking good. I'm excited to see. It's going to be a good measuring stick this week when they're at Pittsburgh. 2 weeks ago, they had a good one when they're out in LA playing the Chargers. That was a good one to see where they're at, and they handled the Chargers easily. And then we saw the Chargers dismantle Minnesota on Thursday Night Football. So we know the Chargers are a pretty solid squad that the Colts handled. And then Sunday, noon on CBS against Pittsburgh, noon, here Central Time, 1:00 Eastern.
Yeah.
But that should be something. We'll see how Pittsburgh responds too after, getting embarrassed by, Jordan Love and the Packers on Sunday Night Football. So I'm really interested in that game.
That's gonna be a very good game.
And I see your Steelers right there. Like, what's your thoughts coming in? Where are you at?
Mike Tomlin just said that he thinks that Terrell Austin is capable of calling a good defense, and I disagree. Mike Tomlin and I rarely disagree about things. I usually kind of lean on what he says. He's really smart. I don't know about our defense. We sell out to stop the run, and it seems like there's no adjustments that are built in. Like, okay, now that we've done goal A, stop the run. Let's not let them beat us over the top.
Right.
Let's figure out how to rally to the edges so they can't throw it into the flats and run for 35 yards. Tucker Kraft, who, by the way, outstanding tight end, Tucker Kraft. Great after the run, outstanding tight end for the Packers. So I don't want to take anything away from him.
That dude was a couple of years ago played 9-on-9 football in South Dakota. Like, whoever heard of that? 9-on-9 football in high school. That's crazy. Just because of the small, not as,
How
small.
small it is in Dakota. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But I mean, like some of the tackling I've seen, it's just, and maybe I can name about 4 different very key games where it's like, man, you sure this guy is the right option for us? So I'm sure there'll be discussions had after the season. Mike Tomlin, which I know they're very close friends, and Mike Tomlin is a very loyal guy. But I worked overnight Sunday night, and so I watched 3/4 of the game, and in my head I say, okay, I think we got this wrapped up at 19-16. Let's just hang it in there, and I'm gonna take a little nap. I rolled over to a notification that said 35-19.
You're like, what?
Yeah. Which for all the good that going 9-8 is gonna get us every season, I really just want us to take that L and have a losing season. Let's go 3-14. Get some first round talent in that we can develop. And be done and just get better again.
That's the crazy thing with Indianapolis is, taking that shot on Daniel Jones and, you give that kid a line and see what happens. Like that true Daniel Jones comes out and like he's looking really good right now. And, it's still a smaller sample size compared to all the, a few years he's been in the league, but he's looking pretty legit. You give a dude with talent and an IQ like he has some time to throw, and he's not running for his life every play like he was in New York. And you give him some receivers to throw to, like more than just one. Like you only have Malik basically, and the Meadowlands there. Colts have some sneaky secret other guys outside of like Pittman, like Josh Downs and Alec Pierce, and now you got Tyler Warren. I still don't know how Tyler Warren fell to the 14th pick. Like that dude is unreal. I watched him play live last year in the Big Ten championship game against Oregon, and I'm like, this dude's going to be a menace in the NFL for years. Like whoever gets him is going to be happy.
I was so the one thing for me, and like I said, Daniel Jones, I think maybe the most interesting part of this surprise. Is that, like I said, you give them an offensive line. I was chatting with someone literally this morning. We were talking about who the GOAT is at running back, which by the way,
Taylor right now.
Yeah, without a doubt.
6 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. My goodness.
I'm so glad I drafted him. But we'll get
to
nice. In a bit. Shout out to my man Mac Bryant, historian, who actually he's got a book called The GOAT Rules, and so he sets, because football is a team game, so it's not like basketball where I can just go to the stats that LeBron made or created versus the stats that Michael Jordan created, and we can go back and forth about who did what. And even there's still debates on both sides, right? But in the NFL, there's so much that's predicated on the other 10 people doing the job they're supposed to do for your job to go well. And like you said, man, I could name you think about, I want to say Daniel Jones had, I think he caught the tail end of Odell's prime in New York. And then he had some playmakers though, but they weren't like special. But I mean, he had Saquon, but even with Saquon and Slayton and some of the guys he's had, if you don't have the line, it makes no difference.
Doesn't matter.
And you see what a great offensive line did for Saquon in Philadelphia last year. Man, it's just you give and John Mara said this like 3 seasons ago that we haven't done Daniel Jones a disservice by not giving him a good coach and the pieces around him to make him better.
Right.
And you know, he leaves, he goes to Minnesota, and sits on their practice squad, he goes, and then he joins the Colts. And in my mind, I just saw no way that Anthony Richardson would lose that quarterbacking, you know, competition to him. And we see him behind just a solid line, and he looks like the number 6.
It's crazy what a line and a change of scenery can do. I mean, same thing with Baker, you know, suffering in Cleveland, gets to Tampa and gets himself a line and some weapons. And yeah,
he can actually play quarterback. Who knew?
Although a lot of fantasy owners are pretty upset at him last Sunday.
I
in New Orleans. I can't believe that. I know they won handily, but put up 3 points, I think, for fantasy.
I played against him this past week. I was very happy.
I played against him too, so I was happy. Yeah.
Sam Darnold's another, you know, with that opportunity he got with a good coach, and which, by the way, Minnesota quietly has one of the best offensive lines in the pros. Their offensive line, especially when Derek Shaw is healthy, that's maybe the best in the league. But you put him behind that offensive line, you give him a solid running game, and you got 2 playmakers up there, 3 as a matter of fact, and Hawkinson, Jefferson, and
Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison is the third. I mean, you got playmakers. When you put a good team together, imagine what they can do. It just makes sense. And just to kind of circle it back around to the Steelers, we've got a good team. But Aaron Rodgers is one of the savviest, smartest veteran quarterbacks to play the game and lace them up. Maybe ever, not just, you know, in today's game, but ever. And so obviously he's gonna do what he's doing. The problem with that is Aaron Rodgers, I think I'm 40, so Aaron Rodgers got to be like 42, 41, 42, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And so if how much, and they're interested in, because of how well he's played lately, they're interested in maybe bringing him back for another year, which, again, look, you know, if let's say he goes and we win a playoff game, which we haven't done in 15 years, 10 years. He's 41. He turns 42 in December. But let's say he goes and wins a playoff game. Sure, bring him on back for another year. Next year he'll be 43. And did Tom Brady play to 45 and look really good at 44? Yeah, sure. Actually, he looked good his last year. He didn't have that uber great defense against a bad offensive line in the Chiefs to make him look even better. But you know, do we really want to hang on to Aaron Rodgers for 5 years and not figure this thing out? Like, what do we do after that? I mean, I guess, I don't know, in 5 years, Tomlin may want to retire. It'd be 25 years. Who wants to stay in the pros that long anyway? So maybe, but I don't know. We've got to think about our future is what it comes to for me. And it doesn't seem like they're interested in thinking about their future. So as far as the Steelers, look, I think we'll do it again. We'll win 10, 12 games. I clocked us at 11. So, you know, that's why I say we'll end up as at 11 games. And then we'll finish. We'll get to the first round of the playoffs, which it looks like we would probably host a playoff game. And if we can get back to kind of our winning ways, we'll host a playoff game. And just our luck, it'll be the Chiefs, the fully healthy Chiefs.
They're not going away. I'll tell you that. They looked pretty good last night. I mean, you know, they played like a Washington Commanders team with no Jaden, but you know, getting Rashee Rice back, pretty big for them. Travis Kelce has looked decent lately. Caught another touchdown last night.
Very happy about that. I do have that stack. I've got the Kelce and Mahomes stack in one of my leagues. So super happy.
Yeah,
super happy about that. But look, and what a difference it makes when you can't put all your eyes on number 87. He's able to run, and he had a great national tight end day. So
I know a lot of those tight ends ate. A lot of them went to work.
Except for Ferguson, of the most productive tight end all season.
I know. So I have him. I have him in one of my leagues at at one point I think midway through the third quarter something, still no points, no receptions, not even I was like, he get hurt? Like what's going on here? And no, it was just that game script. Denver was in control, and that was one of the oddest performances of the year so far.
Yeah, shout out to our boy Freezy Sports, who is a Broncos fan, and he's been talking about this Broncos defense for a couple of years, and they were considered one of the best. Of course, they sport the defensive player of the year in Pat Surtain, and they came to play like yesterday against the Cowboys without question, or I'm sorry, Sunday. I don't know. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Tuesday now.
Hopefully, but I mean, they came to play, and I think that's what it is you lock up the middle of the field and you make Dak play to the outside. And they're really really good outside with their corners and the pass rush that's coming, and they've got linebackers that can cover. They do it all. They've got a great defense, and on the other side they're going to just run the ball, and Bo Nix hopefully plays smart.
I know we haven't really been giving any fantasy advice out there, but if you need a wide receiver, go get Troy Franklin. If he's on your wire, go get him.
I've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and of course they were on bye this past week, and so Troy stepped up, and boy howdy, did I look like the smart guy with 27 points out of him, and I super excited about that. And I guess since you brought it up, I was going to mention it because. We are, I don't know if you've had a chance to kind of watch any of the work we're doing. We are hosting a fantasy football league, and we are in week 9. And it's been, so normally Tuesdays is normally my recap day.
Yeah.
But we took the day, of course, to take some time to chat with you, man, and we appreciate it. So I am number 2, our co-host, who he was hoping to jump on. He's a kitchen manager of a very fancy dancy restaurant in Northwest Arkansas, where I grew up, and he is so he wasn't able to get on. He had a project he had to handle, like catering something or other. So shout out to Ant. I hope you got your project done. He is number 1. He told me I have to call him the GOAT. I will not, because he's only scored 9 more points than I. I'm in second place. 7-1, and I'm 6-2. We've got about 3 of us at 6-2. And so this league is it's all about content. So we're talking, a lot of the folks in there. It's a 12-team league. At least 7 of us are content creators, from Freezy Sports to NFL playmakers. Shout out to them. They'll be part of our NFL midseason recap that we'll have tomorrow afternoon. And 2 of the brightest minds I've seen in NFL writers, by the way. But there's a good deal of content creators in there, and so this whole thing started, Michael, with a game show quiz. So NFL trivia as a game show quiz. So I actually recused myself to create the questions. I hosted the game show. It was a blast. And so then after that, of course, we live streamed the game show. We live streamed the draft, and then we recap each week and talk about, like I said, some of the fantasy news, if you will, and maybe a few suggestions. Normally, when I'm in a couple other leagues. I'm in one money league this year, and so we normally do. I normally don't give out any fantasy tips, but I have this season with this league because I want everybody to have the opportunity to win and be competitive. But there's we've had, and it's been a lot of fun. And so really the coolest thing that we'll do is at the end of the year, we will be having, we'll celebrate the championship in week 18. So that's the 4th of January.
Yeah.
Actually at Ant's restaurant that he works at. It's called Sassy's Barbecue in Northwest Arkansas. Yeah. So great barbecue, great food, great drinks. We'll have a blast. We'll have a live podcast during that time, just reacting to the game. And we're gonna do this all day. So game start at 1 Eastern, 12 Pacific or 12 Central, and so we'll start when the game start. And we'll just react to throughout the time. So 10 hours from 12 till I think Sassy's may close at like 8 or 9 or something like that. But
Nice.
we'll be going all day. We'll try to kind of set up. I believe they got a little patio as well, and so we'll be setting up like tailgate experience. Well, we're gonna live it up, man. Have a good time. We're gonna celebrate whoever wins the championship, not Ant. Call. But most important thing, Michael. Not only are we gonna celebrate the winner in our league, we're gonna celebrate the loser. We're gonna celebrate the loser more than we're gonna celebrate the winner. As a matter of fact, so there will be the loser,
I love that.
the last place. And I'm most proud of this because it took me a while to kind of figure out this how I was going to do this. What you see there as the logo on top. What it says is I got booty blasted in the Authentic Sports Podcast Fantasy Football League. That's right. It's the I'm 40, Michael, but I'm a child. And
we all got to be a kid at heart.
It keeps me young, and maybe it does something for my liver. But we were talking during the sports quiz. So the sports quiz determined our draft status, right? Where you pick. I picked last. Freezy Sports actually won the draft, won the quiz. There's 15 questions. Some of them had multiple answers. So, and I'll give you an example. So, name the only 2 NFL MVPs that were defensive players. And so that answer is Lawrence Taylor and Alan Page, the famed defensive tackle from the Purple People Eaters. And so those were the 2 that won. So you had to do both of them to get it right.
Nice.
Very tricky questions, we'll admit. And so in the middle of this, Freezy says, man, I hope I don't get booty blasted. And so I giggled about that for 4 days. And then I thought this up. I said, man, we're going to do it. I'm buying one because I like the T-shirt. And I'm buying the losers as well. And so then they're going to go eat dinner somewhere and wear this shirt. And when they ask what it reads, they've got to explain to them that they got booty blasted in the Fanatic Sports Fantasy Football League.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can find a hat to match this.
Yeah, you got to celebrate the wins, but man, you got to punish the losers. I mean,
Right.
You have to.
Most important part. Yay to the winner. I've got my bets on a couple guys that I think are going to make it to the championship. I'm in second place. Anthony's in first. You know how this works in finals.
Get a light shirt on here. It's getting dark.
In fantasy, man, you know how it goes. The first seed never wins. The commissioner never wins. So I know I've got no chance. But there's a couple guys who one of the guys in the league, he's not even a content creator. He's my best friend, and he just was wanting to be in the league with me. And he's had a couple players on bye and still put 140 points up. Just ungodly numbers from his lineup. So I've got my bets on him and one other content creator from the Run Your Mouth podcast. His name is Jeremy. We call him Worm. Worm's got a great squad too. Those are who I expect to be in the finals.
Wow.
I won't be wearing. I won't be in last place, but I and the person in last place will be wearing this T-shirt around town.
Or hosting the podcast with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fantastic. Well, again, man, I can't say thank you enough, man. One of my favorite parts about, like I said, is finding our tribes is that we don't know each other that well. We're getting to know each other on the fly. I follow your content and support it. You thankfully you do the same for me, and so I'm always just amazed and taken aback when people join us. So I can't say thank you again for that, Michael, man, and definitely looking forward to having you on with us again. Maybe at the end of the World Series, hopefully it goes 6 or 7.
Yeah,
we can come back and try it again.
The one thing you never have to twist my arm is talking sports. I'll do it all day. It's one of the best parts of life is just being able to watch sports, be able to talk about it, and be able to create some funny stuff to go along with it sometimes.
Definitely that, man. So tell everybody where they can find you and some of the things you got going forward before we get out of here.
Yeah, so Sports Vibes Media, same handle on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's something that I just started last October, just out of a whim.
Sure.
I posted a kind of like a reel on my Facebook page that went along with Pete Alonso's walk-off homer in Milwaukee last year, and I just threw the Bob Uecker voice on it, the one that says, "Here's the pitch." Oh shit! I mean it. Yeah, I mean I love Uke, and so I give him a. So I put that on my personal Facebook page, and it blew up.
Yeah.
And then my wife was like, you should just like create your own page and make some content. I'm like, who's gonna watch that stuff? Like, but it's taken off, so things are going well. So I give credit to Bob Uecker, man, the late
Yeah.
Bob Uecker, as the reason for starting the sports page, and it's fun. Like, I try to do some stuff like this. I try to, post the funny like movie scenes or something to go along with a scene that happened from a game, like just to keep it light. Social media, man, it can be a scary, dark place these days. So my main thing out of all of it is just to get people engaging with each other, like in the comment section on it, like not screaming at each other, not, going at each other. Everybody's kind of like having fun. They're laughing, and that's like something we forget to do these days, is laugh a little bit. So that's one of the reasons why I do it. It's joy.
Yeah, love that, man. And like I said, one of the things that I love about what you're doing is where it's unintentional and it's a blast, and we're just it's what you said. It's sports vibes, and
Right. We're just out here vibing.
Who doesn't love that, man? Who doesn't love that? Well, man, I can't say thank you enough for joining us. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face as black as I am, man. I appreciate all the work that you do, and looking forward to seeing more of it. To our fans and people who have joined us, we can't say thank you enough, y'all. As always, episode 59.
I love how you named it For the Vibes.
Man, it's definitely the plan, man, and look forward to seeing more. Looking forward to more from you as well.
Yeah, you too, Joe. Anytime, man. Let's do this again soon. Maybe like you said, when the World Series wraps up, it'll be good.
I'll give you a shout, man. To all the fans, thank y'all for watching. As I always say, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Thank you for watching the Fanatic Sports Podcast.